The second question is live. I request everybody to vote. If you click under the 9 dots on the right hand corner, you're going to see tools. Under that, you're going to see polls. There are the questions posted. Guys, the third question is live.
Manita, you can take over. Manita, carry on. Okay?
Okay, sir. Sir, shall I start?
Yes, you can start. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to day 4 of the CyberShield 6 Days Capacity Building and Training Workshop, an initiative of Naksh Foundation. I am Manita, and it's a pleasure to co host with Riddhi. We'll be leading you through the program and supporting you throughout this session. CyberShield was built on a simple belief: if every volunteer learns how to teach cyber safety well, we can protect thousands of people who have never heard of phishing, fraud, grooming, or digital rights. Over the next 3 evenings, we're going to shape ourselves into trainers who speak with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Today is the foundation. Before we teach anyone else, we must understand the battlefield we're standing on. the digital threats, the psychology of scams, and the tricks criminals use to control their targets. If you're ready to start this journey, type ready in the chat. Blisson M. Sir is an advocate and a legal consultant at NABARD, where he provides legal advice on banking law, financial regulations, and institutional policy frameworks. He has developed expertise in banking law, contract negotiation, insolvency proceedings, SARF, AESI, the cross border financial regulations, while also contributing to institutional governance and risk mitigation. He holds an LLB in intellectual property law from IIT Kharagpur and an LLM in human rights from National Law School of India University, Bangalore, where his research focused on the right to privacy. A UCG GRF scholar, he has combined practice with academia, serving as an academic tutor and TRIP fellow at OP Jindal University, where he taught and researched on intellectual property, human rights, and gender justice. Beyond practice, Blisson M. Sir has authored several books, published articles, and mentored more than 50 junior advocates. He has also over 15 years of experience mentoring civil service aspirants and law students. His career spans significant roles at UCO Bank and NABARD, where he has managed high value recoveries, regulatory compliances, and litigation strategy. With this diverse background, he brings valuable insights into how cyber law, privacy rights, and cross border regulation shape the global response to borderless crimes. We're honored to welcome you, sir, today. Without a further ado, I would like to hand over the mic to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Uh, we can have this interaction, we can have this session interactive as well. If any of you feel uh, you have any doubts in between, you feel free to use the chat box and ask your doubts. So I would be able to address it right away. So the topic for today is about the digital safety for senior citizens. When it comes to internet or when it comes to cyber, most of the things that we see is like we try to shield the children from accessing wrong materials, or it's the teenagers or the adolescents or the youngsters. That's how we associate with. But there has been a tectonic shift in cyber activity by the elderly persons, the senior citizens, especially after the pandemic, after the social isolation and everything has happened. The pandemic has opened the doors for the senior citizens and the elderly persons, and they are now accessing a lot of essential services from internet. And it is this area, and being vulnerable due to their age and other circumstances, an industry is formed. It's an industry to cheat, scam the senior citizens. Now, if you look at the latest research, what they say is it is not about the youngsters. As per latest research, it is the elderly people who are addicted to screens. It is they who watch a lot of consume a lot of media online, and it is exactly this uh, point, or it is exactly this habit the scamsters target and make the senior citizens vulnerable. Now, if you look at the scale of the crisis, I'll just tell you, in 2024 alone, senior citizens, the loss of digital payment on related frauds amounted to 1.2 crore lakhs. So 1.2 crore lakhs is the loss that the economy has faced due to such scams. Now imagine the scale. And remember, I told you this is not some scam. Some scamsters are acting as a small isolated units in some places, or some 3 or 4 individuals planning this. This is actually an organized industry that targets the seniors, that targets the elderly people. Now, why should they have to target the seniors? Why should they have target the elderly people? Just like in a normal thing, they are easily vulnerable. They're easily vulnerable. They're aging. Their brains are not as sharp as it used to be in their younger days. So what they do is they tend to believe things. And added to that, there is a big gap of literacy. Digital literacy. Not all seniors, they might be extremely successful in their life, but the growth of technology happened in the last 20 to 30 years. So they were not exposed to such technologies. And even if you look at now, uh, uh, people who are born in 90s would be using different apps. People who are born in 2000 will be using different apps. So the uh, preference changes, and the seniors are not well versed with these applications, apps, or internet. And moreover, their tendency to identify fraud is diminished because what the psychologists called as the positive effect. What is positive effect? In simple terms, it is put that they have a brain because they are elderly, they're aging. Their brain tend to filter out the negatives and see only the positives. So it is this vulnerability the scam test target. And another important thing that I would say is the seniors are socially isolated. If you look at the data, almost 20% of the senior citizens in India complain about loneliness. And this loneliness is also targeted by the scamsters in terms of romance, friendships, trying to build some positive relationship, what is called as pig budgering effect. Pig budgering effect. What they do is they don't immediately uh, uh, scam a person. What they do is they wait out, they build relationship, they build trust. And because the most of the people are lonely or isolated, especially the senior citizens, and added to the effect in their brains of uh, neglecting the negatives, they trust these people. And it happens over a series of period of time. And after that, what happens is these people, when they are at the most vulnerable, the scamsters take out the money and leaving the senior citizens, elderly, devastated. What happens in such situations is they are not only devastated because, look, remember, they have developed some sort of relationship. They have lost a companion. And added to that, they've lost money. And it becomes a vicious cycle of shame, neglect, etc. And like I said, although the problem starts from the seniors being lack of having a lack of skills in digital technologies, they also don't report these scams in fear of shame, uh, because the society might perceive them as weak. The society might perceive them as not having enough knowledge in uh, identifying a scamster. So these are some of the reasons. The seniors in themselves is a vulnerable group. So what we have to do? The best method is to be a combination of family, society, legislature, judiciary coming together to protect this vulnerable section of people. Even recently, Supreme Court has time and again said how the elderly people are targeted by the scamsters. Now I'll tell you some of the modus operandi, some of the methods in which these things operate. One of the famous, this has been in news all over. Despite this, this scam keeps continuing unabashedly. Nobody is seems to be doing anything. Not major errors has happened, but this scam is something that has wreaked havoc on our geriatric population. So it is the digital arrest scam. So what is a digital arrest? It is nothing but a scam where impersonation happens. The scamsters either impersonate themselves as authority figures like police officers or somebody from investigative agencies, and they use AI voice, and they even use deep fakes based videos. They even set up police station kind of a setup, and they induce social isolation. Like I said, already 20% of the population, 20% of the seniors report to being lonely. And in addition to that, what these people do is they try to isolate the victim. They try to isolate the particular senior citizen. They try to isolate them, and they threaten them. They tell them either their name is associated with illegal activities, or they are involved in some wrongful activities, and they will be immediately arrested. And what they do is they will not allow the particular person to seek help from their families. And what they do is they essentially uh, make the victim transfer money, and through fear and isolation. According to resources, according to reports, almost 3,000 crore has been swindled by the scamsters using the digital arrest. Now, how to save the senior citizens from digital arrest? Like I said, it needs to have a concerted approach. Family support mechanism has to be there. The legislature has to support, also the law enforcement, all has to come together to support this vulnerable population. So this is one method. So the major method one is the digital arrest. So like I said, it can be using any AI based technology. Yeah, I'll address this question. When in pool of different age group to target the senior citizen, where they get this particular data to reach them as personal data explored by which kind of means? Like I said, see, how the question he is asking, that how do they get access to the data? uh, Data is one of the more is the new oil. It's the new oil. So there are a lot of ways in which data is exposed. You go to a shop, you buy something, and they ask you your date of birth, they ask your phone number, and those shops can sell this data online. So it is a big syndicate. So every transaction you make online, and every transaction even you make offline, your data is collected and it is sold to these groups. There are lots of ways. There are dark web where this is sold. The phone numbers are being exposed, and even hacking attempt itself. Let's say, some organization or something that caters to the seniors' well-being, and they store the phone numbers, email IDs. If a simple hacking attempt gets succeeded, then the entire data is leaked online. There are a lot of forget about small organizations. There are a lot of data attacks on even established companies like Microsoft, Google, and it can happen. Like you give your date of birth, age in train ticket booking, in airline booking, when you go to shop buying clothes. So this is how the data is exposed, and then the scamsters themselves are trained to identify the vulnerable population by talking to them in call, by, like I said, what you call as pig butchering effect. That is trying to build a relationship with them, and then once they found that once they have won the confidence of the particular person, then they attack. So this is how the data is exposed. So, like I said, digital arrest is one thing. Next, what can be the other methods is AI and voice cloning. So, what is the AI and voice cloning? Now, you could have seen after the spurt of generative uh, GPTs, it is not only the text that is being done. Nowadays, almost many videos or audios are being generated by AI. It is even having impact on elections. So what happens here is the impact is so much so that popular social media networks like Instagram, Facebook are asking the user to indicate how much of AI is used in this video generation. So what they do is AI-based video cloning. They make videos of authority figures or figures who are seen as safe, who are seen as trustworthy. For instance, they may make a video of finance minister talking about investing in a particular scheme, or some famous financial guru talking to invest in a particular scheme. The finance minister will have no role in it. The particular expert would have no role in it. All that would have done is an AI video. And because of the vulnerability, because of the lack of awareness, the senior citizens believe that it is actually the finance minister telling this, or it is actually the particular person. So they are forced to do investments in such scams and lose money. And there is also one more scam that is called the grandparent scam. So what here they do is the scamsters try to impersonate the grandchild of the seniors. They use AI and voice. They use AI to impersonate, to mimic the grandchild's voice, asking for money or calling in times of distress. And the grandparents, they have no idea to verify it. And what they do is they use this urgency technique. They either force them to immediately pay the money, immediately pay, do it immediately, and they do it. So this is another method. The first is which is widespread is digital arrest. Next, using the AI. And even I took test in a New York Times article, and they gave me series of pictures, photographs, videos, and I was not able to identify around 6 to 7 images or videos, whether it is AI generated or it is a real video. Imagine a 70-year-old or 75-year-old who has not been exposed to such things. They are completely vulnerable. And even now, we can see an 80-year-old retired justice was uh, scammed in digital arrest. Remember spending his time in courts and yet being scammed. It is not that the justice would not know anything about police or anything. It is just that their capacity to identify has diminished, and it is such diminished capacity the scamsters target viciously. So now, like I said, we have seen why seniors are targeted and what are the methods in which they are targeted and what is the scale. Like I said, this is not a small scale or this is not a small operation. This is a large scale, massive operation targeting seniors. Now, how do you address this? How do you protect them? The protection cannot happen one way around. It is not about just Reserve Bank of India or SBI or a government giving ads in social media, giving ads in TVs, asking to take so and so steps. Neither it is family level, or it could be from police. It should have a concerted and combined strategy, because most of this is happening in a technical way. There should be a technical solution to it, and because this is also a social element to it, like because of the age, because of the way in which social structure, the the family structure is said, there must be a social solution to it, that is a family solution to it, and there must also be a solution from the law enforcement. If any industry is running in such scale of thousands of scores, where they get training, they're kept. See, there are people to train in anything. It's just like how a big terror network organize themselves. There are terror networks in the world, but they don't happen everywhere. But they do get trained. They do get trained in arms, and similarly, these people do get trained. And see, if you are a graduate and if you know basic computers, you can be easily trained. All you need to do is uh, know how to talk, how to identify the person, and it is very easy. It is not tough. You can have small manpower and have bank accounts and get the scheme diverted. So this training, it will hardly happen. It is not something very sophisticated thing. It is not something like you're going to hack a Pentagon server or an army building server or anything like that. These are ordinary individuals using ordinary phones, ordinary computers. They don't have even basic software that protects them. And forget about basic software. They don't even know how to use the phone. And they don't know how to use the phone. They don't know what is a link. So what they are doing is they are targeting the most vulnerable sections of the society. So very basic, rudimentary technical knowledge is enough. And such training, it can happen in a cubicle or it can happen in a room with a simple projector and a PPT. Nothing. If you know how to type in a computer, you can scam anybody. And a very basic knowledge is enough. Even I would say 10th standard computer knowledge. So now coming to the ways of protecting the seniors. First is the technical. Technical. You have to stop it right where it happens. There are ways in which you can do it. One is you simplify the interface. If you look at the latest phone, nowadays the phone will do anything other than making a phone call. I have seen even the phone, the phone button is not there in the phone. It has become a mini computer. And if you give that phone and with such complicated lock screen, homepage, or if you look at net banking interface, It is highly complicated. So what we have to do is we have to tailor made, we have to make bespoke websites, interfaces easily for the senior citizens to operate. Only essential interface, only essential clicks are should be done. Next, if it is a net banking or if it is credit card or if it is UPI transaction, ensure that a maximum limit is set. Now, many banks have this. So what you do is maximum limit, when I say, is the amount of money that you can just leave it like that. Just you can take it from your pocket and throw it out. And yet you won't feel lost. Keep it like into 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 or 5,000. That is the maximum that they can spend. If they want to spend above that, either they need to contact a safe person in their family or somebody whom they know. So the first important thing is to simplify the interface. Simplified interface. There are many apps that give simplified interface to the seniors. Do that. Next, install spam blockers. Spam blocking softwares. There are many spam blocking softwares. Recently, after the iOS update in Apple, the way in which we make phone calls have changed tectonically. Now, if it is a number which is not stored in the, if it is not stored in the mobile, then Truecaller Premium, and there are lots of other things. One I can remember is Truecaller Premium spam blocking software, and even iOS has introduced this feature where if the number is not saved in your account, the phone will not come to you unless and until the person tells his name and what is the purpose of the call. I think this is being rolled out in Android as well. I'm not sure, but such spam blocking software, and nowadays even the telecom companies, they do it at their level. In countries like USA, there are some telecom companies that filter out the calls at their level so that the call does not even reach the device. And next, what you can do is you can ensure that your location data is off. There is a software called Life 360 where it tells you about the safe location of your parent or the senior citizens. And another way is to operate the bank or net banking in a safe manner. There is a safe interface. There's one such thing is ever safe. And always try to have two-way authentication. Now let me tell you, OTP, that is one-time password, is one of the most abused and it's one of the least secure. It can easily be bypassed. And even the victim can be made to give the OTP. So always have a two-way authentication system. Nowadays, there are lots of password managers are there, like 1Password, Bitwarden. They generate passwords. It is such a way that no human can easily remember that. All you have to remember is one master password, and for every website, you have to have unique password. Avoid having one password for all websites, because if one website is compromised, then your entire data is out and anything would be compromised. So always use a password generator. Have passwords, and in addition to that, have a two-way authentication system. Either you using your phone, where a push notification is sent, Or there are also nowadays there are digital keys where your phone and the computer, if they have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, they connect to each other and they check whether they are in proximity, and using your biometrics. Like if you have an iPhone, the facial recognition, or if you have an Android, using your thumb recognition, they can check whether you are actually near the device or not, then give access. So always try to try to activate the two-way authentication for your parents or senior citizens, because most popular uh, websites do that. It's there in Amazon, Instagram, Facebook, and Microsoft, Apple, etc. So this is the technical. Next, educational strategy. Try and have a good family time where you teach your parents about uh, safe practices. So use analogies, like I said, using a two-way authentication method, two-factor methods, and try to give them sample websites. Try to show them sample websites of phishing websites, websites which look alike, but how it is actually not the proper websites. Ask them never to type the banking web address directly into the Google search. Ask them to always type it in the address box, check it. Show them a fake website and a real website. Ask them to compare it. And like I said, password hygiene. The single most best way to lose your money online is to use one password for all your websites. One common password. You should never do that. Invest in a good password manager. Generate unique alphanumeric passwords for each website. And remember one master password. And using that password, you generate unique alphanumeric password for each website and use it. At the same time, also activate two-way factor authentication. And teach, educate. The problem is seen is this: they have a phobia. They think that they don't know much about technologies, so they are adverse to learning it. So use what do you call analogies? Use analogies like what I can say. Uh, uh, think of phishing websites as somebody who comes to deliver gas. If anybody comes to your doorstep and say that they've come to deliver gas, will you allow them inside? What do you do? You'll ask them to show their credentials, show their ID, check whether they are actually a gas delivery person, actually employed by the particular company. Then you will allow them. Similarly, use analogies and tell them phishing websites. You have to check the credentials. You have to check whether it is actually the website. And always have a 30-minute rule. Tell them that if it is urgent, it is probably fake. If anybody tells them that it is urgent, do it within a minute. Don't tell anybody. Do quickly. It is actually fake. You should always have a method. The method is, if it is something urgent, cut the call, test the source, verify whether it is actually the intended person or not. Talk to a close family member. Sit, think about it, then act. Have either 15 minutes or 30 minutes of duration, then act on it. So these things are the action plan. Action plan one is implement 15 or 30-minute rule. What is the 15 or 30-minute rule? The 15 or 30-minute rule is a rule where you tell your elderly relatives or parents that if anything is urgent, don't do it. Wait for 15 minutes. Let the panic subside and tell them that nothing will happen if somebody tell them that you'll be arrested or things like. There's no such process. There's no such process. So tell them, wait for them, let the panic subside, then act. So what you have to do is you have to what action next. You should not engage with that person. You should engage with a trusted person. Tell it to them. Ask them to verify. And the next rule is hang up method. If anybody asks for money on phone, immediately hang up. No matter what. Verify. You can see this happen. It can happen with you as well. They'll come to you saying they either hack your friends social media in LinkedIn, Facebook. They send messages saying that I am in need, my parents are in need, there are a hospital emergency, there's a medical emergency, there is etc., and send me such money, etc. So hang up. If anything happens, if any request comes that you have to send money or it should be secret, immediately hang up and ask them to verify. Always verify. That is the most important thing. And consult. Another important thing that I would like to address here is the big investment scams that is happening. Now, India is maturing as an economy. Traditionally, gold or real estate, or if you talk about the banks, it is usually the fixed deposits. It is all these instruments that the Indians invested. Now there has been a 7-fold, 10-fold increase in stock market investments, and and similarly stock market based advices. It can be good or it can be bad, but the scamsters exploit this as well. So always tell them to invest in safe routes. The government has started senior citizen saving schemes. All these things. Try to if they are taking a decision, ask them to stick to the basic safety things. It's not that they can't invest in stock market. I'm not saying there should be a complete thing, but consult, talk to a trusted person. It can be either an independent financial advisor or anybody. So do that. So this is important strategy. So by doing all these methods, we can stop this from happening. Also install ad blockers or any that there are applications that would not allow the clicks. When you click a link, it would go to another link where this scamsters can get your credit card data, etc. So there are actually applications that will kill it. It will either not allow it to come, or it will either alert the person that it can be a spam, or you just can't do it. So so that is another best method. Install those applications and educate them during the family time. Give them this thing. And next comes the if all this happens, it is essential that this has to be reported. Like I said repeatedly, that one of the reasons why the seniors don't report this is because they feel a deep sense of guilt, not only guilt, shame. And like I said, there are scams like romance scams, where lonely seniors or given the idea of friendships, relationships are developed, and then they are cheated. So they are heartbroken one, and at the same time they are ashamed and they have lost money. So they don't come out. We have to give them the let out. We have to ensure that they are able to report this. And next is giving education, that if you look at in India, there is a cyber helpline number, that is 1930. Use the cyber helpline. Sensitize the law enforcement authorities to these vulnerable individuals. So these are the things that we can do. So with this, I end my talk. Now, if you have any doubts on this topic, now you can ask.
Thank you so much, sir, for the enlightening session. This session has set a strong foundation for the upcoming session. We are now opening the floor for questions. Participant, please drop your question in the chat. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and I will call you one by one. We will take the question as the time allows.
Thank you. Is there any way to make the digital animosity to make identify used to access internet to get into okay. There is a way. There are like two-factor authentications. There are two-factor authentications available. One is what they do is, like I said, you can install applications like Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator or One Password, where what they do is they use your phone biometrics. Nowadays, we know your face. There is face recognition in Apple, and it is also there in Android. And Apple no longer uses the fingerprint, but the fingerprint is also there in Android. So what that happens is that two-factor authentication uses this method. So what usually happens is, say for instance, if I am accessing a net banking website, accessing a net banking website in my computer. And what would happen is, despite me entering the password, it can actually generate a QR code. And now what I have to do is I have to use my phone to scan the QR code. Once when I use the QR code to be scanned, the phone will check my biometrics. It will either ask my if it is an Android, it will ask my fingerprint, or if it is iPhone, it will check my face, and then it will enter the app. Then it will send a message through Bluetooth, so that many parameters are checked. One is whether that particular person is in proximity. That is one is done. Next, it is whether the intended person is actually accessing. So all this combination would help. So, like I said, a good password generator like One Password or Robo Password is there. You can use this, or even Microsoft Authentication, Google Authenticator, etc. How do scammers come to know about investment or about the money? Like I said, like there are ways in which your data can be leaked. Um, they can even get the data from a fake forms, password, fake forms, fake Google forms. They can even entice the senior citizens to fill up data details, and there are many ways. And usually, most of the people they can use what do you call uh, yeah, like they can just try and give some information, get, because most of the things are very common, so they can easily get these information. Like I said, You book an airline ticket, you give your date of birth, you give your address, you give everything there. You are done. Everyone knows what you're doing. Tomorrow you search about an investment scheme, your job, or you go to an online, you search about a particular saving schemes. They will know that. They have cookies to track it. So this is how they get to know. Yes, Priyanshu, that is actually one of the concerns because they have this phobia that they couldn't learn. Like I said, one method that I use or what the experts say is to use the metaphors that they can understand. It is not that these people have lived in a world where there were no scamsters, were no thieves. They had their own security problems during their age, and they tackled it. Try to use those metaphors. How they would have did 30 or 40 years back in a normal life. How they would have identified a thief, how they would have checked, like I said, the gas analogy. If some person comes and knocks on your door and says that I have come with a cylinder, you check the person whether he is from the gas company or not. Ask him to show the ID card. The same analogy you can use. And passwords are like house keys. Will you give your house keys to anybody? You won't. So don't give your password to anybody. And will you have the same key for all the doors, for all the almiras, for the important money lockers? No, you will have different keys. And will you put the same keys in one place? No. So it is not that they are not aware of it. It is just that you need to give analogies because uh, theft and all these things has always been in this in our society ever since civilization formed. Only thing is we have to tell them in the analogy that they understand. They will understand, and also give them the space and ensure that it is fine. See, look, it is not necessarily the elderly are being fooled. Even youngsters, adolescents, and even middle-aged people are fooled. But only thing is that the sense of shame and guilt is more for the senior citizens. We have to have a multi-pronged approach. So one good thing is to give analogies. Yes, there are many apps. There are many apps that can be used. That is the to prevent the uh, uh, from clicking on fake cyber links. Uh, if you look at Apple has a very robust mechanism where you cannot install any app outside its app store. So you can give them a good entry level Apple phone where it is really tough. And apart from that, you can also use third party apps. I think there is one called uBlocker, which blocks malicious ads, scams, links, and it straight away tells that the particular link seems suspicious. And other important things are doing the basics. Ensure that the phone software, OS, and applications are always updated. So doing that, because mostly the tech companies they release their security patches and other security features. So asking them to doing that, updating these things, and there are many apps. You can find it in Play Store or App Store, and that will help. Yeah. NABARD, your role importance to whole sector in agriculture. See, NABARD, only one part of the NABARD's work is for agriculture. The other is also infrastructure, rural development. So NABARD is now into a wholesome development of the nation. We not only take care of agriculture, we also take care of infrastructure development. We also take care of self-help groups and agriculture, allied activities, and digital literacy protection is also very important for us. And NABARD has always strived to that, and we also fund to that to educate the vulnerable sections. Thank you. Thanks, Suraj.
Thank you, sir, for addressing every question with such clarity. This session has already shaped how our trainers understand the digital risk. With that, day 4 comes to close. On behalf of Naksh Foundation and Project CyberShield, we extend our sincere gratitude
Thank you,
to
Sakshi.
Mr. Blisson for delivering such an insightful and engaging session. His clarity and real world examples have given all of us a strong beginning to this journey. I would request all the participants to fill the post assessment form as QR code present on the screen. Tomorrow, we will have the fifth section on the cyber law intelligence, legal framework, and digital evidence handling. You will receive the reminder and the link well in time. Until then, stay aware, stay curious, and keep strengthening the shield. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.